Hey, what's going on? Last week, I did a video I think Wednesday, where I mentioned that I tried to start a video several times and had to keep stopping because I couldn't stop coughing. Most of you know that it turns out I had COVID, for the first time. It was the first time getting COVID. Feeling a lot better now, but I still still feel like shit, honestly. Anyways, let's talk about what's happening tonight. I think it's a pretty interesting one. But the real problem is we're at the end of this is the last week for LCK and LPL. In fact, this might be the last day for LPL entirely. And this is going to be the last day for LCK that matters, I think. Um, we might have one more. But you can see here tonight we have, let's look at this slate. Um, the four gamer T1 HLE, DNF BFX on the uh yeah, T1 HLE matters significantly. So T1 HLE is going to determine who gets the two seed. The two seed really is important, but this is a little complicated because it's triple round robin. And so we see here HLE plays T1 tonight, and T1 plays. What do they have? They have HLE. They still have Genji. And so T1 would need to win tonight, and they would need to win versus Genji in enough to cover a two-game differential spread. HLE, though, just if they beat T1 tonight, that will do it because you can't make up two games inside of one game, right? And they would have two more wins. They'd have a spread of at least three win margin. So currently two, and then in a win tonight, they would gain one more, and that would be impossible. So Han was playing to lock up the two seed if should they win. T1 to get the two seed would need to win tonight, and they would need to beat Genji, and they would need to do it in better numbers than Hanwha would beat their last remaining match against Nongshim. So, for instance, if Nongshim loses 0-2, Hanwha takes a game tonight and loses, that means Hanwha would gain an additional. Oh, that would move their game differential to one. Yeah, so they need to do a 1-4, which would still be a -3. So that would only move them to 18. So that would work. If T1 win tonight, so T1 would need to win at least tonight 2-1 and 2-0 versus Genji, or 2-0 tonight and 2-1 versus Genji. And that would allow them to make up the ground on Hanwha, even if Hanwha wins, right? Because if Hanwha loses tonight 1-2 and then wins 2-0, that's a net gain of one game. Yeah. So uh this is complex, but really T1 needs to win tonight and beat Jinji. They need to sweep at least one of those matches, if not both. And they need Hanwha to lose tonight. I guess as long as Hanwha loses tonight, T1 wins and T1 beats Jinji, it's good. But if Hanwha wins tonight, they'll lock. If T1 wins tonight but loses to Jinji, Hanwha should still lock. Let me do the math on that one real quick. Oh, sorry. Yeah, because if they T1 win tonight, they would gain at least one game on Hanwha, putting them one game behind. They would be unable to make that difference up even if both team loses. I guess if Hanwha gets swept by Nongshim, it's so unlikely. So let's just write it off that the stakes are fairly high for this game if T1 wants to get the 2 seed, which they definitely do. And because Genji's already locked into 1 seed, they might be kind of vulnerable in the last match. They might not want to show a lot to a team they're going to face later. So I feel like the motivations are going to be pretty high. The other game is not important at all. BFX is locked. They cannot improve. You can see how far behind they are, um, with a 43 win percent versus 61 win percent. And I don't think that they can slide back behind. I guess technically they could get passed by OK Savings Breon. 8, 10, 12. Yeah, they could. So they could end up in the 3 seed, but it's just not very likely. And DNF are eliminated. They're the only team that is eliminated from playoff. So this BNK DN Freaks game is so inconsequential. We have to like BNK here quite a bit if they decide to run it up. And they're priced appropriately at the one position that matters. We'll get into pricing here in a second. In the LPL, what do we have? Weibo, JDG, WEAL. None of these games matter in the LPL. The We're done with the bottom bracket. It's only top bracket games now, and nobody can move up into a bracket, and nobody from the top part of that bracket can move down. So people who already have to play in the single elimination play-ins are locked. They're just not locked at their position. And the position doesn't really matter a whole lot because when they get out of the play-ins, the top teams get to pick who they play in descending order. So this this shit doesn't really matter at all. Um, and I think it seeds so that teams from the upper bracket play the teams from the lower bracket in those single elims. So I wouldn't. I can't imagine any of these teams really care. JDG, Weibo, both these teams are where they're at. Technically, if JDG wins tonight, if they sweep, they could force a tiebreak. That would be the third tiebreak with Weibo. And let's look here. I think that would go to game time. Are you kidding me? JDG haven't played Weibo at all? Oh, that's wild. So yeah, that can't possibly be right. Yeah, no, they both have 2 games left, and their 2 games are against each other. That's insane. Yeah, we get Weibo JDG tonight, and then Weibo JDG again tomorrow. Oh, these teams couldn't care fucking less. This is so stupid. Yeah, this game doesn't matter at all. Nobody cares about it. It's a done deal. JDG could move up to the 5 seed, but who fucking cares? Similarly, this AL, WE, AL can't move up, WE can't move up, WE can't move down. WE's locked at the 7 seed, AL is locked at the 4 seed. So they're both completely locked. This is their final match, also. I think, like, you really shouldn't play DFS or gamble on these games during these last weeks. Not just because of motivations, but there's just like there's just a different vibe overall, and I think it's important to take that into account. Um, this is bullshit, just absolute bullshit. Let's build a player pool. Do we like T1 or do we like HLE? I think like HLE is a pretty interesting idea, but let's go for both. My gut instinct is that T1 are just in too good a form. I think that even though Viper's been extremely good, this there's some matchups here. Zeus hasn't looked quite as good as Doran. Peanut always is gonna have an opportunity to slightly underperform. Baker's been pretty good. I think that the bot lane though is just what seals the deal. Maybe Delight comes alive. We'll find out. Uh, I think we have to like BFX 2.0 here. I will not play DNF, but I'm really not opposed to the idea of it because if DNF wins, they're going to score extremely well. And like we saw, the game doesn't really matter for BFX. Um, I think the Weibo JDG game is really interesting because I was surprised to see that Weibo were favored I think that's wrong. Like Crisp has played extremely well, but I think if we look at current form, no, I mean I guess Breathe Tion is just like a real mismatch over better. They're better than the Zhaozhou June set, but then again you have Zhaohu versus Scout. Light has been good, but Hayes has shown better form. It seems like the communication issues are gone. I we'll put them both. We're gonna put them both in at 2-1, but my inclination here is that JDG win as dogs, which is great because that's gonna open up some space for us. I think you should consider that it's probably a 2-1 for AL, but it could easily be a 2-0, and they should exceed their scoring because I think we can assume they're going to run it up. This is just such a fucking mess. Um, let's look at today's. We're still on yesterday's. Pop, pop, pop. Looks good. Let's adjust our teams. AL. We're going to do a conservative 60 for AL. With these games, they could go very long if they. We're going to do 60 for Fearex as well. T1, we're going to do 55. These don't really matter. 55 for Weibo. 55 for JDG. We're going to have to manually adjust 55 for Hanwha. I'm not playing DNF. And then we're going to do 30 for WE. But like, I think anything, I think you could play anybody tonight and it's totally feasible. But I want to look at what we get with JDG in the player pool. So I'm going to take out Weibo, WE. Well, we can leave WE in. We can really leave DNF in as well. But we're going to manually take out Weibo. We're going to change this so that there's no opposing players. And we're going to hope to avoid a lot of that T1 HLE game, I think. But here we are. If you like HLE, I mean, this shit. Yeah, Viper's just going to pop as long as HLE's in the player pool. His upside's just too high. Do we like Diablo, Captain? I mean, I think I do. I think we do like Diablo, Zhaozhou, Raptor, Vikla. This is interesting. It's a one-off at top. It's kind of a tough matchup for Zhaozhou versus Breathe. But like this Raptor captain with Flandre and Tarzan, it's just not good. I mean, like any of these games could blow out tonight, and I think there's a chance that BFX actually just close quickly on DNF and don't blow it out. But like you have to guess for yourself what the fuck is gonna happen. But these LPL games are just like they're an absolute joke. Let's see what we can do if we just do ALJDG Tarzan. Shit, we can do Hope Captain, Shanks, Tarzan, Hope. I mean, this is kind of interesting. I wouldn't play June Captain, and I think I'd prefer to get to the AL as the big stack. All right, let's just run through some. Uh, T1. Let's do T1 Weibo. Tion owner T1 JDG. We can get to Guma captain. Yeah, I mean, if you could get to a dog, it really does open a lot. My preferred dog tonight is clearly JDG. I think the next best one is probably going to be HLE, Jungle Captain for if we do double LPL favorites. And then I think T1 AL is going to end up being support captain. Yeah, we can only do support captain. If we do HLE, you can do HLE AL. That should, yeah, we can do Viper captain. So I think this is probably how I'd attack the slate. Is I'd do a AL JDG lineup and a AL HLE lineup. Those are the two I would do. I think those have the highest scoring upside. They both get to a dog on a slate where the games don't really matter. I mean, it does matter for HLE, and you just hope that they get it done. But like, that's the only game that matters tonight is HLE T1. So if they play slow, they play slow. But I think if they win the first map, T1 may really fall off too. Getting to Hope Captain is really valuable. Let's see what else we can do with HLE. HLE Weibo, I mean, we know what that'll be. Viper Captain. Uh, VFX should be Diablo Captain, I think. HLE, so Viper. Which like this is usually what I would want to play on this slate if I felt like I could trust the LPL games to play like correctly, for lack of a better way to say it. Let's look at Weibo. So this is interesting. You can do Diablo Captain with Weibo if you think that Weibo JDG game blows up. Weibo have been playing a lot faster. I think Weibo AL is going to be support. Oh, let's take VFX out. Oh, jungle, then support. So you can do jungle captain, but it looks like only Tion. You can't get to Tarzan at captain, which would be the preferred position. I think there's like a good argument for. I guess we could play some WE tonight. AL are not invulnerable. There's a good chance that they fuck around. WE have been serviceable. Yeah, like I mean, I think if you were playing WE, you would want to play them with. I would want to play them with BFX. And you can play them with anybody. Like if we were playing them with, let's grab some winning scores. Yeah, they just don't project very well. But again, like the projections don't matter because the projections are bullshit. Yeah, Raptor captain, Monkey captain, a lot of cash left over just because of Tyun's projections, but you could easily do Diablo or Tyun at captain. Um, I think that like Weibo WE would be interesting, but again, we need Weibo to go way over Monkey, Tion, but plenty on the table if you want to do light. Light has played historically well at captain. Um, let's look at these over unders. What do we have? 30 and a half for both of the. Yeah, this gives you an idea here. Vegas took the WEAL off the books. They only have a 27.5 for the Weibo JDG, which is that's going to be too low, right? I mean, model says that it's actually an under bet, but I think you could pretty comfortably just hit the uh hit the overs there. Let's see if they have no. Nope. Yeah, nobody's gonna put up a kill total for this ALWE game. If you find one, maybe Pinnacle, but I'd be stunned. If you find one, let me know because that's kind of interesting. I would like if it were me, I would set it at 32.5. Model says 30.5. So I would add two for it. Just like for the Weibo JDG model says 26.5, and I think 28.5 is where I'd set the line, and it's still probably an overbet. Um, yeah. Okay. If you don't know, when you look on the sheet, this number down here, those are the projected combined kills. So it's just a betting piece. And then the second one is the projected combined kills for minus this. So if you think T1 is going to win, they're going to be one under. If you think HLE wins, the model projects them to go two over, have an average 32.5 combined kills. So that's T1's kills plus HLE's kills. So nothing here, I think, really groundbreaking. I don't like. I just you just got to have a good feel for it. These are days that it's you shouldn't be betting or gambling on League of Legends at all. Um, there's no benefit to it. You're really taking on just so much unnecessary risk, additional risk. But that's what I have. Good luck today.